All right, so today we're going to deep dive into vision boards.
hmm
You know, those collages that are supposed to like help us manifest our dream lives.
hmm
But sometimes they can feel like more like just a Pinterest project,
hmm
you know, than an actual tool for manifestation.
Yeah.
What's the missing piece? Well, that's where Neville Goddard comes in. And we have an expert here to help us unlock the secrets to creating these Neville-inspired vision boards that actually work. So are you ready to create some vision boards that are actually potent tools for manifesting your desires?
Yes, I am. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people, they create these vision boards and they look great, but they're missing that key element of really feeling it, experiencing it in their imagination. And that's really the heart of Goddard's teaching.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it then.
Mhm.
Goddard talks about imagination being the key to creating reality. But how do we move beyond just thinking about what we want and actually start using our imaginations to manifest it on our vision boards?
Well, the first step is to really understand what Goddard meant by imagination. He wasn't talking about daydreaming or wishful thinking. He was talking about creating a vivid sensory experience in your mind, so real that it feels like you're already living it. So he used this example of wanting to go to Barbados. And instead of just thinking about it, he imagined himself actually being there, feeling the gangplank beneath his feet as he boarded the ship, smelling the salty air, hearing the seagulls. And guess what? He ended up getting a completely unexpected phone call offering him a free trip to Barbados.
Wow, that's an amazing example. So it's about more than just picturing something. It's about engaging all of our senses. That must be a crucial part of creating a Neville-inspired vision board.
Absolutely. It's about making it a multi-sensory experience. So let's say you're trying to manifest a new home. Don't just put a picture of a generic house on your board. Think about what kind of home you want, the architectural style, the location, the feeling you want to evoke. Then find images that represent those specifics. You could even include things like fabric swatches to represent the textures you want, or scent samples that evoke the feeling of your dream home.
So instead of just seeing my dream home, I'm actually starting to experience it through my vision board with all my senses. That's so cool. But how does this tie into Goddard's famous I am statements?
The I am statements are all about embodying the feeling of your desire being fulfilled. It's about shifting your identity to align with your vision. So instead of saying, I want a new home, you would say, I am living in my beautiful new home. And you would feel it, sense it, experience it in your imagination as if it were already true.
So it's not just about putting pretty pictures on a board. It's about infusing those images with the feeling, the I am energy that aligns with our desires.
Exactly. Think of your vision board as a portal to your desired reality. Each element on that board should be carefully chosen to evoke the feeling of your vision already being fulfilled.
Okay, this is starting to feel really powerful. But how do we make sure we're not just going through the motions, but really embodying the feeling of our vision? Is there a specific technique we can use?
One powerful technique Goddard talks about is living in the end. It means consistently acting and feeling as though your desire is already a reality, even though it may not be reflected in your outer world yet.
Hmm. Living in the end. I'm not sure I fully grasp that. What did that look like in practice, especially when we're talking about vision boards?
So imagine you're visualizing your dream job on your vision board. You have a picture of yourself in a corner office dressed in a power suit leading a meeting. Instead of just looking at the picture and thinking, I want this, you step into the feeling of already having it. You feel the confidence of being in that position, the excitement of leading your team, the satisfaction of achieving your goals.
So it's about bridging the gap between the vision and the reality by bringing the feeling of the vision into the present moment. That's a big shift, isn't it?
It is, but it's an essential shift if you want to truly manifest your desires. It's about training your mind to operate from the state of the wish fulfilled, not from the state of lack or wanting.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see how these principles can transform the way we create and use vision boards. But to create these powerfully charged vision boards, we need to really break it down into some practical steps. Where do we even begin?
Well, the first step, and this might seem obvious, but it's crucial. Define your desire. What is it that you truly want to manifest?
Right. No vague, I want to be happy kind of stuff. We need specifics.
Exactly. Get clear on what you want and why you want it. The more specific you can be, the better.
So if I want to manifest a new car, I shouldn't just put a picture of any random car. I need to choose the make, the model, the color, even the interior.
Precisely. The more details you can bring into your vision, the more real and tangible it becomes for your subconscious mind.
And that's what helps to manifest it. Okay, what's the next step?
The next step is to choose images and words that evoke emotion. Remember, it's not just about the visuals. It's about the feelings those visuals trigger. Choose images that make you feel excited, inspired, joyful, as if your desire is already fulfilled.
So instead of just a picture of a beach, I might choose a photo of myself on a specific beach, feeling that sense of relaxation and peace.
Exactly. Or you can include a quote that inspires you, a word that represents the feeling you want to embody. And remember, engage all your senses. If you're manifesting a new home, include elements that represent the sounds you want to hear, the smells you want to experience, even the textures you want to feel.
Wow, so I might even include a seashell for the sound of the ocean, a coconut scent for that tropical aroma. I mean, this is starting to feel less like a chore and more like a fun, creative process.
It should be fun. Remember, you're creating a portal to your desired reality. The more enjoyable the process is, the more powerful your vision board will be.
Okay, my creative juices are definitely flowing now. Anything else we should keep in mind as we're putting these elements together?
Don't forget to incorporate those powerful I am statements we talked about. Write them directly on your board in the present tense, as if your desire is already a reality. I am enjoying my dream job. I am living in my beautiful new home. I am overflowing with abundance.
Got it. So I'm not just looking at these images and wishing for them. I'm declaring them to be true in my reality right now.
That's the power of the I am statement. It's about claiming your desires, owning them, embodying them fully. And one last but very important step. Place your vision board where you'll see it often. And spend time each day truly immersing yourself in the feelings it evokes.
So it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing. It's an active practice, a daily ritual of aligning with my vision.
Exactly. It's about keeping that vibrational match strong and clear. Reminding yourself of your desires and reinforcing the feeling of them already being fulfilled. It's about making those desires a living, breathing part of your reality, not just something you glance at every now and then.
This is all starting to make so much sense. But I have to ask, what happens when life throws us a curveball? You know, those unexpected events or setbacks that seem to contradict our vision. How do we reconcile that with Goddard's teachings?
That's where the concept of revision comes in. Goddard taught that we have the power to revise our past. Not literally changing events, but changing our perception of them. If something happens that triggers negative feelings or seems to derail our manifestation, we can use our imagination to revise that experience into something more positive.
So let's say I'm working towards manifesting financial abundance, but then I suddenly get hit with an unexpected expense. So instead of dwelling on that setback and feeling discouraged, I can use my imagination to see it as a temporary detour that ultimately leads me to even greater abundance.
Precisely. You might even imagine that unexpected expense opening up a new opportunity that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Maybe it forces you to get creative and find a new income stream. Or maybe it helps you prioritize your spending and become more financially savvy.
That's so empowering. It's like turning those so-called failures into stepping stones. But honestly, it can be hard to stay positive and focused on our vision when things aren't going our way. How do we cultivate that unshakable belief that Goddard talks about?
It takes practice, there's no doubt about that. But Goddard reminds us to pay attention to the feeling of certainty. That arises when we vividly imagine our desire. That feeling, he says, is a powerful indicator that our desire is on its way to becoming reality.
So it's not just about blindly believing. It's about tuning into that inner knowing, that gut feeling that tells us we're on the right path.
Exactly. It's that feeling of naturalness that Goddard talks about. As if your desire is already a part of your reality. It's not forced. It just feels right.
I'm starting to see how this all ties together. We create our vision boards, we infuse them with the feeling of our desires being fulfilled, and we pay attention to those intuitive nudges that guide us along the way. It's a dynamic process, isn't it?
It is. And remember, the manifestation process takes time and consistent effort. Don't get discouraged if results don't appear immediately. Trust the process, nurture your vision, and stay connected to that feeling of certainty.
So patience is key, but also consistent action, right? We can't just sit back and expect our vision boards to do all the work.
Absolutely. Vision boards are a powerful tool, but they're not magic wands. We need to take inspired action that aligns with our vision. If you're visualizing a new career, start networking, update your resume, take courses to enhance your skills.
It's like we're meeting the universe halfway, showing that we're serious about our desires.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about engaging our senses using I am statements, living in the end, revising negative experiences and taking inspired action. Is there anything else we should keep in mind as we're working with our Neville-inspired vision boards?
One thing that's often overlooked is the importance of gratitude. Goddard emphasized that gratitude is a powerful magnet for manifestation. When we express gratitude for what we already have, and for the things that we are manifesting, we create a vibrational frequency that attracts even more abundance into our lives.
So I could write affirmations of gratitude on my vision board. Or I could simply take a few moments each day to feel grateful for the things that are already manifesting in my life.
Exactly. The more you can cultivate a mindset of gratitude, the more you'll align yourself with the frequency of abundance. And remember, gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about acknowledging the good that's already present in your life.
That's a really important point. It's about shifting our focus from lack to abundance, recognizing that we already have so much to be grateful for. And speaking of abundance, I've heard Goddard talk about the importance of not limiting ourselves, of believing that anything is possible. How does that play into the creation of our vision boards?
That's a crucial point. Don't let your current circumstances or perceived limitations dictate what you believe is possible. When creating your vision board, allow yourself to dream big, to imagine a reality that truly excites and inspires you. Don't censor yourself or dismiss your desires as unrealistic.
So if I want to manifest a trip to the moon, I shouldn't let the current limitations of space travel stop me from visualizing it and feeling it as a reality.
Exactly. Who knows what advancements the future holds? What seems impossible today might be commonplace tomorrow.
This is so inspiring. It reminds me that our imagination really is the only limit. But I have to admit, I sometimes struggle with that. My inner critic pops up and says things like, "Who are you to think you can achieve that?" Or, "That's just not realistic." How do we deal with those negative thoughts and beliefs that can sabotage our efforts?
That inner critic is something we all deal with. To varying degrees, it's important to recognize that those thoughts are not the truth. They're just old programming, limiting beliefs that we've picked up along the way.
So how do we reprogram that old programming? How do we silence that inner critic and step into a more empowered mindset?
One technique Goddard recommends is to simply observe those negative thoughts without judgment. Notice them, acknowledge them, but don't engage with them. Don't try to argue with them or push them away. Just let them pass through your mind like clouds passing through the sky.
That sounds a lot like mindfulness.
It is. It's about becoming aware of your thoughts and choosing which ones you want to focus on. When those negative thoughts arise, simply acknowledge them and then gently redirect your attention back to your vision, to the feelings you want to experience.
So it's not about suppressing those negative thoughts. It's about choosing not to give them power.
Exactly. The more you practice this, the weaker those limiting beliefs become, and the stronger your belief in your vision will grow.
Okay, so it's about cultivating a mindset of awareness, acceptance, and redirection. That makes a lot of sense. But I have another question that often comes up when we're talking about manifestation. What if we're visualizing something that's good for us, but it might not be in alignment with someone else's desires or free will? Is that something we need to be concerned about?
That's an important ethical consideration. Goddard was very clear that our imagination should be used for good, and that we should never try to impose our will on others.
So if I'm visualizing a romantic relationship with a specific person, I need to be mindful of the fact that they have their own desires and free will.
Exactly. Instead of focusing on a specific person, focus on the qualities you want to experience in a relationship. Visualize yourself feeling loved, supported, cherished, and trust that the universe will bring the right person into your life at the right time.
That's a really helpful distinction. So it's about focusing on our own desires and feelings without trying to control the actions or desires of others.
Precisely. It's about aligning ourselves with our vision and trusting that the universe will orchestrate the details in a way that benefits everyone involved.
This is all so powerful and inspiring. I'm feeling so much more confident and excited about using my vision board as a tool for manifesting my goals. But before we wrap up this part, I want to revisit one of the key concepts we discussed earlier. Living in the end. It's such a profound idea, but it can also feel a bit daunting. Do you have any tips for making it more accessible, more tangible?
One way to make living in the end more concrete is to focus on the small, everyday actions that align with your vision. Instead of waiting for the big manifestation to arrive, start embodying the feeling of it now.
So if I'm visualizing a healthier lifestyle, I might start by incorporating more fruits and vegetables into my meals, or taking a short walk each day, even if I'm not at my ideal fitness level yet.
Exactly. Those small, consistent actions are powerful because they send a message to the universe that you're serious about your vision. And they also help you start living as if your desire is already a reality.
I love that. It's about taking those baby steps, those micro manifestations, that pave the way for the bigger picture to unfold.
Exactly. It's about creating a momentum, a forward motion that aligns you with the frequency of your desires.
This is all starting to click into place. But I have to admit, I still have some questions about Goddard's concept of the bridge of incidents. It's such an intriguing idea, but I'm not sure I fully grasp how it works in practice.
Well, the bridge of incidents is essentially the series of events, the synchronicities and opportunities that unfold as you move towards the realization of your desires. It's about paying attention to those seemingly random occurrences that guide you along the path.
So it's like the universe is conspiring with us, orchestrating events to help us manifest our dreams.
Exactly. But it's not always a straight path. There may be detours, delays, even apparent setbacks. But if you stay connected to your vision and trust the process, those challenges will ultimately serve to refine and strengthen your manifestation.
So how do we distinguish between a random event and a meaningful synchronicity on this bridge of incidents?
Pay attention to your feelings. When you encounter a person, a situation, or an opportunity that resonates with your vision, you'll feel it. It might be a sense of excitement, a feeling of alignment, or a deep knowing that you're on the right track.
It's like our intuition is our guide, our compass navigating us along the bridge of incidents.
Precisely. Trust your gut feelings. They are messages from your subconscious mind guiding you towards the fulfillment of your desires.
This is so fascinating. But I have to imagine that there are some common pitfalls that people fall into when trying to apply Goddard's teachings, especially when it comes to creating vision boards. What are some of the things we should avoid doing?
One common mistake is creating a vision board that's all about things and not about feelings.
So instead of just focusing on material possessions, we need to choose images and elements that evoke the feelings we want to experience.
Exactly. Your vision board should be a reflection of your desired state of being, not just a wish list of material possessions.
That makes sense. It's not about acquiring stuff. It's about becoming the kind of person who attracts those things into their life.
Exactly. It's about aligning your inner world with your desired outer world.
Okay, what's another common mistake people make when creating vision boards?
Another pitfall is creating a vision board and then forgetting about it. As we discussed earlier, it's an active practice, not a passive one.
So it's not enough to just create the board. We need to engage with it regularly, visualize those desires, and feel the emotions associated with them.
Exactly. Make it a ritual to spend a few moments each day connecting with your vision board, allowing yourself to be fully immersed in the feelings it evokes.
Okay, so consistent engagement is key. What else should we avoid?
Avoid comparing your vision board to others. Your journey is unique, and your vision board should reflect your individual desires and aspirations.
So no Pinterest envy or feeling like our vision boards have to look a certain way.
Exactly. The most powerful vision board is the one that resonates deeply with you, regardless of what anyone else is doing.
I love that. It's about honoring our own unique path and creating a vision board that feels authentically us.
Precisely. And lastly, avoid getting attached to specific outcomes.
What do you mean by that?
It means releasing the need to control every detail of how your vision manifests. Trust that the universe has a plan, and it may be even better than what you can imagine.
So it's about surrendering to the process and trusting that our desires will unfold in the perfect way and at the perfect time.
Exactly. It's about releasing the resistance and allowing the magic to happen.
This is all so incredibly insightful. I feel like we've covered so much ground in this deep dive. But I also know that there's always more to learn and explore when it comes to Neville Goddard's teachings.
You're absolutely right. His work is a treasure trove of wisdom that can be revisited again and again, always revealing new insights and perspectives.
And I have a feeling we'll be revisiting it many times in the future. But for now, I think it's time to wrap up this part of our deep dive. Before we move on, is there anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Just this. Remember that you are the architect of your reality. You have the power to create a life that reflects your deepest desires and your highest potential. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and never stop imagining the world as you want to see it.
That's such a beautiful and empowering message. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and wisdom with us today. I know our listeners are feeling inspired to start creating their own Neville-inspired vision boards and to start manifesting their dreams with intention and purpose. And be sure to tune in next time as we continue to explore the fascinating world of Neville Goddard and his teachings. Until then, keep those imaginations soaring and keep believing in the power of your own creation.